That's hot. That's hot. Okay, because I couldn't see us there for a second. Sometimes, with the dual video and stuff, it acts a little crazy. But we up there, we live. It's awesome. I'm just absolutely glad to have you here. You're one of my greatest supporters. And,
Oh, thank
I
you.
said to myself, I got to start getting people up here who support me, those people who actually click share. Support isn't just liking and loving and, cracking up at people's stuff. It's actually hitting that share button and sharing it so that you can bring, prosperity, health, wealth, and whatever else somebody may be looking for. So, let me
Right.
introduce you real quick, Coach. You ran a couple of different titles. You went from coach to administrator. So this is the 24th episode today. All right. Sunday brunch. Adrian Goodson as your host. Today, I have Vince Simmons with me. Let's take a look inside at Vince Simmons, who is the sports manager liaison for the Philadelphia Reign. He's an experienced customer service manager, professional with demonstrated ability. You've coached on so many different levels, from elementary to high school and to the college level. You are very, very good and very talented and personable at servicing different teams as far as customer service is concerned. You're a natural rapport builder because I can see that because you are with the Philadelphia Reign right now, and we're gonna talk about that name too, okay? Because we used to have the Seattle Reign in the ABL, so I watch you guys and I see how you got the Rage in it as well. So if as long as you guys have them teams that were doing the thing and you're bringing back a little bit of nostalgia to all of us. Because as I look around, I'm like, yo, wait a minute, they picking up on a couple of things I don't mind because the ABL was one of the greatest leagues that were around. And,
Yes.
you are in the front office right now. Coach, welcome to the show, Sunday Brunch, where we mainly discuss basketball, but we love other sports. Today, we have an all-star cast of ballers, which makes for a great show. And you are here, Coach. What's up, Coach? Give us a glimpse into where you are now.
Well, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. First of all, let me toast it up to you. Sunday brunch.
well,
Beautiful
well, I have a
cooking.
taxi here for a little bit.
Listen, turn it up, baby.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
drink to
excited.
that.
I'm excited to be on. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's no problem. Like I said, you're one of my biggest supporters, and so I want to support you back. I know what you're doing, and I really do want you to give us a glimpse into the developmental league and where it is that you guys are trying to go. But talk to us about where you are. And I know you're doing elementary school, high school. You're dabbling so many things. Where are you?
Well, my coaching career began at actually it was started out at high school back in Connecticut. I was a school, it was a Christian school called the Master School. There was a varsity coach named Tim Goodwin that blessed me with that opportunity coaching boys for 3 years, and then I stopped coaching for about 6 months because I moved and I just got married for the first time, and so I was going to just stop coaching because I was going to support my stepdaughter and focus on her. And so her high school coach, Kevin Walton, um, shout out to him. He gave me the opportunity to coach their summer league team, and so I coached it, and and I basically gave a good impression to a lot of people in the New Haven, Connecticut area, and so they gave me, I guess I started getting phone calls about returning back to coaching and wanted me to coach girls, and I was a little hesitant about coaching girls. I'll be quite honest with you. I didn't look at, I was like, girls. I'm like, I really not sure if I was capable of doing that. So I gave it a shot. So it was a middle school team that I coached, which my other stepdaughter was actually on the team as well. And so we actually made it to the city championship game that year, for that opportunity. And next thing you know, I was coaching middle school for about 3 years. Then I was able to transition into high school, and I was at a school called Hyde Leadership School, and I was only there for 1 year. And then for 2 years, I was at North Haven High School for 2 years. And then my jump from to the college level became at Lincoln College of New England, where I was the head women's basketball coach, and we was 2 years. It was a new college from the beginning, trying to build a team from the ground up. They had a couple seasons, and we wanted to, keep building from that. We were successful, for 2 years that I was there, and then I stepped down. In 2013, I stepped down from there because I wanted to focus on some personal things and that I needed to get some personal things together. And then I ended up deciding to move back home to Philadelphia. And think about coaching. And an opportunity came out that I never thought I would have in 2013, where I just applied for a assistant coaching job at Arcadia University. And a coach blessed me with an opportunity. Her name was Lori Carrill, and she blessed me with the opportunity to be one of her assistants. And about 35, and the thing about it was, which I find that coaching position to be the most rewarding, was because I just simply applied. I did not have no one referred me. No one gave me, no one gave me the opportunity. Like, I gave the opportunity, but no one referred me. I didn't have no connections. It was just strictly resume. She saw something in me, and out of 35 people that applied for the position, I happened to be one of the 3 that got the job. So that right there was my best, most rewarding position that I felt that was opportunity, as far as getting a job in coaching. And so I was there for 1 year, and then they changed coaches, and you know how that goes. When a new coach comes in, they want their own people. And I still supported Arcadia University to this very day. They were wonderful to me for my time there. And then I got involved in AAU. A guy named Eric Worley, who is the CEO of Philly Triple Threat, gave me opportunity to coach ninth grade girls, and I've been with them. I worked with them from 2013 to actually 2020. Involved in that program. I've coached from ninth grade to seventh grade, been assistant coach for high school girls. And so girls basketball has been definitely a thing for me. And I actually love it. And I definitely enjoyed it. And then which led me to, and at that time I was at a crossroads for me. Where I was going to decide whether I wanted to continue to coach or not. Because I was going to just take a break and decide what I wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, the Philadelphia Reign came about, where basically they were just looking for volunteers. And so I met with the commissioner of the Women's Basketball Association, Tamika Wilburn, who's still one of the owners of the Philadelphia Reign. And we met, through virtually, and she talked about wanting to bring me on. And of course, I met with our team president, and one that gave me, and next here I am as the sports management liaison, community liaison for the Philadelphia Reign.
Wow. And if we all got the opportunity to take a look at ourselves and look at the blueprint of our lives, we all think that when we're younger that it's going to be from A to B. If I got the opportunity, God give me the opportunity to go up in the sky and just look at my life, here we are. Like, I'm all over from the United States to South America to Europe to, Africa, all over the place. China, got the opportunity. Basketball will take you very, very far. It has. And, but it's not without the work. And I think that nowadays these kids really like the end product, but they don't want to have to, do the work in between. And if you cheat the work in between, trust me, the game will cheat you. Something will cheat you, and you won't have longevity, or you won't get to play on the teams that you want to, or you won't be able to realize your dreams. And one of the questions, I'm glad that you answered it. One of the questions that I was going to ask you is, Coach, you've been coaching on so many levels. Why women's basketball? And you touched upon that because I had to ask that, and especially with the coaches, because there's so many opportunities out there for you in the man's world. To settle in on women's basketball, that's something totally different. But then when you
Yeah.
said that you have a stepdaughter, it's different when you have a daughter. If you have boys, you have no concern about what's going on, maybe even in your wife's world.
Yeah.
But when you have a girl, then now you become conscious of all of the social issues that we have to deal with. We're talking about Black
Mm-hmm.
Lives Matter right now.
Yeah,
We have
exactly.
these social issues since we were born. So all of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff that everybody seems to be having a hard time with, I guarantee you that women are dealing with it better because this is what we had to deal with every single day. But
Yes, and
go ahead.
and the social, it was definitely been heartbreaking for me this year. Like when Breonna Taylor was brutally murdered. Um, I remember I have daughters, and for her to lose her life at such a young age over a mistake that was caused by the police who's covering up their issues. I was between sad, angry, and still, honestly, I'm still angry to the day because justice is still not served for Breonna Taylor. And that's what I'm going to always speak on because justice needs to be served. We need our black women protected. And because I have daughters. Okay. Now my oldest one is 31. Okay. Just imagine that could have been her. That could have been her. And I think about that all the time. And that right there, I can't. It's still to the day I had trouble sitting well with that. And I constantly have to make sure I talk to my daughter at least every other day just to make sure she's okay. Even more so. And no matter we don't even just chat on the phone. We FaceTime each other. So I need to see her face.
Yeah, it changes the perspective now. Everything changes. My mother was always, be careful, be careful, be careful. Like, Mom, I'm gonna be fine. But you know what? Sometimes it's not you. It might be the choice that you made to go in a store, the choice
Mhm.
that you made to go to the laundromat, the choice that
Mhm.
you made around the corner in a bad neighborhood
Yeah.
where they do a high volume of shooting. There's so
Right.
many different things out here, so many different factors out here. I don't mind people having guns, but you have to be responsible with them. And if you have anger
Exactly.
management, you probably don't
Exactly.
need to have it.
And one of
Definitely.
the and I'm glad you get caught up on that because one of the biggest things that happened right now, two major unfortunate shootings that happened here in the city of Philadelphia. One gentleman who was just recently graduate out of Diamond Grads High School, his name is Ross Carter, was murdered last month, and we was heartbroken by his tragedy because there's another issue is because of black on black crime. Okay. Secondly, okay, it was another. We lost another player about a month ago as well, named Jasmine Waters. Okay, and shout out to her mother. My condolences, my heart's out to their families. Um, she was just driving, okay, and someone shot her. 20 years old, lost her life for what? Nothing. She's just minding her business. And I follow her mother on Facebook, and it still breaks my heart that she's suffering because she had to bury a child. When did we at some point, okay, we got to stop? The biggest, hardest thing is burying a child. When we gonna stop?
Yeah.
That's the part right there. It really hurts me. I had to mention that. The two biggest things that's going on right now here in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia is one of my stomping grounds. Shout out to my family who lives in Philly. I was always walking around down there, 15th Street, North Philly, walking around as a child in areas that, today probably may be unheard of to walk around in, So shout out to that city. I love Philadelphia. I was a part of Philadelphia. It's a part of my life. It's in my heart. Played for the Philadelphia Rage, was there, got the opportunity to live in that area, be over in that area, hang out with AI in that area, and Derek Coleman, those were my dudes. Fridays, right over there on City Ave, and just have a great time. Sit there and play cards. That's what AI does. He transformed that. Now he down in Charlotte doing it. So I'm gonna have to catch up with him down there. But I kid you not, great city, and I read that. I read when you posted it up about that kid. She's a baller. Doesn't make her any more special, but she has a place in my heart because she was a baller. And, to read that story was a tragedy. To read up on some of the things that, some of my friends are dealing with down in Norfolk in a community where there's a lot of kids being killed right now. So, we just have to, as a community, we have to come together, neighborhood watch. We can't always keep on complaining about what white America's not doing for us. We got to stand up for ourselves. There's some things that we need in our own culture. There's some things that we need to do and break our own generational curses before we expect other people to do it. So I could put that out there. I do not depend on anybody for my well-being. I do not depend on anybody to put food in my mouth. Adrienne gonna grind. She's gonna grind for her. She's gonna grind for herself. And if that doesn't come through, then I'm gonna go for assistance. But to sit here and sit back and say I'm blaming everything on white America is absolutely ridiculous.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it starts with us.
5% of my opportunities came from white people when it wouldn't come from black. And I'm still that. They open the door before my own people do. So I'm not going to sit here and cash. So people can understand when I come on the show and I allow people to elaborate on Black Lives Matter, we are and we're letting things out. But there is in no way, shape, or form that turns me into a racist and is going to sit here and allow for me to sit and bash on people who are Caucasian, who have put me in the very place that I'm in right now when not one black person can stand up and help.
Absolutely. Because I wouldn't have been where I am if it wasn't for, from all races, I've had some of my closest friends in Connecticut is actually white, and when I was going through my divorce, my divorce at the time, okay, they helped me. They helped me get a new place to live. They helped me get back on my feet, but I was in a tough spot. So. Absolutely. So we have to make sure that we're supportive of all, supportive of those who are supportive of you, and we have to remember that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single day within it, I could just call out so many different people. Mary Ann Stanley, Wendy Larry coming to my door every single day to recruit me, to bring me to Old Dominion University, which ultimately changed my life. Once again, Mary Ann Stanley over there, Indiana Fever. Okay, Lisa Boyd. Right now, University of South Carolina with the Richmond Rage. People, Harvey, breaking open doors for me. I could, the list goes on and on. Lynn Siegel down there, Hope House Foundation in Norfolk. These people who were there for me when I hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. You will find out who your family members are, who your friends are when you, as my grandmother would say, don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it at her.
Absolutely.
Find out who your people are, And I found out, had a rude awakening 2 months ago. So rude, set me back, but jettisoned me forward. Find out who the people are in your circle. Absolutely incredible. Praise God for it. Praise God for the difficult times. But in those times, when you ask why, He's going to show you.
Exactly.
If it was something that He put in your lap that somebody tried to destroy, He's going to bring you back 10 times greater. 10 times greater. So I just look forward to those types of things. Absolutely awesome. Shifting it to the positive. Okay. Let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about women's basketball. Just this COVID, redefined everything. It redefined everything except basketball. That's how hard we go. We
Right,
are
absolutely.
in what we do. The WNBA, the NBA, kudos to them.
Hmm.
Championship, Lakers,
Absolutely.
LeBron
Yes.
James, WNBA, not my greatest team. Seattle, what's up? I ain't even gonna hate on y'all today. All right, they were just my rivals. You know what I'm saying? Houston Comets,
Exactly.
rivals. So I'd be like, oh yeah, we playing that red team tomorrow. Oh, we playing the
Hmm.
green, and I just make people have to think because I didn't want to say the name. Toenails. I painted my toenails every team we played. I had my toenails painted. I didn't do the nail thing and the lipstick, but I had the team I was gonna play. I would paint my toes. All right, so I had
Get out of
somebody out
here.
me up. Had a nice hookup in Utah. Shout out to Utah. I fell to my knees when I found out I was going to Utah. I said, Lord, what are you doing? You got jokes. That's when I found out that he was a comedian. What I'm doing out there? What do we do out there? You know? So when I got there, probably one of the greatest blessings I've ever had. So I can tell you, getting into the wubble and talking about the wubble for the women, then we'll talk about the bubble for the men, because we gotta always the women, we always have to give something a name. So instead of it being a bubble, we turned it into the wubble, and then it became a big, huge joke on social media, which was awesome. All right, you got the coach of the year, Cheryl Reeves. You got the player of the
Hmm.
year, Asia Wilson. You got the defensive player of the year, Candace Parker. Rookie of the year. Just
Hmm.
great performances all year long. Love watching Atlanta play this year. They didn't play that well. The record didn't show, but I love them. Indiana, the record
Hmm.
didn't love them. Vegas Aces. They didn't get the championship. I wanted them to. That's my team. Utah, San Antonio, Vegas. Okay, so that's that whole organization. So everything that went from through Utah, San Antonio is now hanging up on the Vegas wall. So they embraced them out there. This basketball thing was absolutely phenomenal. I felt like I was watching, super rec sports, because
Hmm.
there was nobody in the audience, with
Right.
all sponsors around and everything like that. Talk to me a little bit about what you thought about the WNBA, and then we'll move on to the NBA.
Well, the WNBA, I thought they did a phenomenal job, both on the social justice aspect of it. Okay, they stayed the focus of the social aspect of it. So shout out to all the players of the WNBA for that. Um, Shout out to the Seattle Storm for winning the WNBA, and I think that and this is something that like I've noticed, like compared to the other teams, they have Sue Bird. The other teams don't. They got that leader. He may be what 40 years old right now,
Yeah,
but she's that leader that I don't think the other teams like really have. Compared to Sue Bird. Now you had the Player of the Year who is Brianna Stewart. She could have been the Player of the Year. She's awesome as well. But to me, Sue Bird keeps that team together, and that's where it really stood out in my mind. Out of when I saw how they were able to win the WNBA championship, and it wasn't really close. It wasn't
yeah,
close in my eyes, you know.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I love the Las Vegas Aces. I love their team. Bill Lambert has done a wonderful job putting that team together. Um, they're putting, they're. I had to have the opportunity to go out to Vegas last year and try to get tickets to a game while I was out there, but they wasn't in town at the time I was out there. But they got a good number of people coming out there, and Bill Lambert has done an awesome job. Asia Wilson, he's she's 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 going to be a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
But the
100%.
but the one thing that stood out, there's another thing that stood out in my mind too. Okay, Candace Parker was the defensive player of the year. But how does she not be on the all defensive team?
Listen,
I've never
biggest mystery.
understand. That's the one mystery that I have is that how can he be the defensive player of the year but not be on the all defensive team? Not first team, not second team. How? That makes that to me is still a mystery to me. Why? And nobody's able to see. I've never seen them able to get an answer from that. Because usually I'm thinking that the defensive player of the year should be on a team is already on the all
First team.
defensive team.
You're on the first team.
Yeah,
You know,
but not to be on the all defensive team at all. I mean, that to me doesn't make any sense to me.
okay, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But now that I'm listening to you, how could it make sense? Maybe there were 11 players that were just absolutely fantastic, and they wanted to make sure that they got that 11th player in there, so they gave her the defensive player, and then they give the other 10 first and second team. Like, I can't think of any other reason why that could possibly happen, because it doesn't make sense. So the only way that it would make sense is if they really had that 10th player was tied with somebody else,
Right.
and they both averaged the same all the way to like the 0.567. All right.
Right.
And they did it because they couldn't choose. So that's the only thing I could think of, and that may not even make sense, but I'm just gonna put that out there just so maybe we can make sense of it in case nobody ever comes up with an answer. You know,
absolutely.
right? I'm in a data analytics course right now, so I'm looking at how those types of things could have possibly happened. So, with that being said, the WNBA is on an all-time high. Never have seen it this high, and I want to personally thank COVID-19 for that, because if COVID-19 had not come around, which is a blessing and a curse, if it had not come around, the WNBA never gets the exposure that it got. Absolutely, I will put my money on it that they would have never have gotten the exposure that they got, because everybody had to be in, and all of the things on social media that was out there, it was in your face. You really didn't have any other choice. You couldn't get around it because you can't go nowhere. So shout out to all of the people, all of the newcomers, all of the people who have just started to tune in to the WNBA. Shout out to all of the young players who were even attempting to figure out who those players are, the history. If I wasn't around some of the kids, they would never know who the heck Adrienne Goodson is. Now, here in my hometown, there's not too many places that I could walk where people are like, yo, there's that WNBA player. And I'm old head, but they know. They know.
Yeah.
We only have a 3.5 mile radius in this city, so in my town, so it's not that far. We're right on the peninsula across from Staten Island. So, back on topic though, talk to us about the Women's Basketball Association. Okay? You guys have a lot of teams out there, man. I'm looking.
We only have 8 teams. We only have 8 teams in the league.
Okay.
Unfortunately, even though the WNBA was able to have their bubble, unfortunately, we were not able to have our season at all this year. Our season actually got canceled due to the pandemic, which put, some tough times on all of us here. But we managed to still stay together and tried to focus on community service. But sticking to the basketball side, we're looking to do tryouts, the next couple of months to try to set up for 21, and hopefully things will be better in 21, so that we could be able to have a season. Because the league is, by us not having a season, when it comes to professional, it's up financially. the part of that as well.
Absolutely. And so, just for the people out there, you're listening to Sunday Brunch. I'm here with Coach Vince Simmons. He's with the Philadelphia Reign right now. He is in the front office in management. Shout out to you. I hope that you guys get the sponsors in and you get this league off of the ground. You have 8 teams. Where are those 8 teams? We know Philadelphia.
We know the Philadelphia Reign. We know the Georgia Soul. We actually have the Atlanta Monarchs, the Georgia Soul, the Richmond Run Rollers, the Greensboro Chaos, the Tennessee Conductors, the Mississippi Eagles, and the Carolina Upstate Thunder.
Okay, so Carolina, where's that at? Is that North Carolina?
I believe that's in North Carolina, yes.
Yes. So you guys got 8 teams. And if I could ask you a question, if you had your wish, okay, and you guys obviously have a wish list over there, what would be some of the components that would really help you guys get off of the ground? If you got the opportunity to ask the WNBA for a favor, if you got the NBA granted you also one wish, what would you ask of them to do so that your league can get off the ground? Because it takes a village.
It does take a village, absolutely. Just mentioning us could be start, because with the social media aspect today, it's like mentioning us, mentioning our league, getting us to support our league. Just the mention of word of mouth means a lot. Like, I'll be quite like, for example, like your interview opens door for me. This is actually my first interview that I've really ever done, and sitting talking to you opens doors for me. It opens doors for the Philadelphia Reign, because you are. I mean, I follow your career. I know what you have done outside the community. Okay, I know your followers. By you mentioning and you presenting this, using your platform to allow me to talk, or allow me to bring awareness, opens doors. And really, that's where it starts. Is making is using your platform to open doors. And I believe that's where it has to start at first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm such an advocate for supporting people, because I know what it means. I know what it means for somebody to mention me. I know what it means for somebody to help me get a sponsor. I know what it means for somebody to share my post. I know what it means for somebody to pick up me. If LeBron big up my show, then all of a sudden everybody's watching it. If Kyrie big up my show, then all of a sudden everybody's watching it. If the National Basketball Players Association big up my show, everybody's watching it. If the National Basketball Retired Players Association mention my show, then all of a sudden I have a different platform.
Exactly.
I understand the importance of it all, and if it's a village and we're sisters and we're brothers, then let's be sisterly and brotherly and big up each other. And so that's the reason why I have you here, because of that. And it's important to me. I don't do it for likes or loves. I do it for the power and upstairs, because that's what he tells me to do. Don't have anything to do, because I know where my blessing comes from, because I look to the hills every morning. So
absolutely.
Get over to the men's side of it. How exciting was the NBA to be able, especially painting this picture with us waking up one day to find out that we lost the greatest basketball player of this time right now, alongside his daughter, and then 3 other members of the team, and a parent. Like, it's crazy, all right? And to deal with all of that mourning, which I'm still, like, people say something to me about Kobe, I'm still sensitive. Me and Kobe wasn't the greatest of friends. but I did appearances with him.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, read to achieve and different things like that. I ended up meeting great people through all of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
All-Star Weekend. And remember him talking to me about her in particular, about how big her hands were, how big her feet was, and how happy he was. On
Mm-hmm.
an elevator after a read to achieve was my greatest moment with him, sitting there reading the
Right.
kids. All right. And then to find out that that happened to him, it was, I was sick to death. I
Yeah.
literally was sick to my stomach and didn't function for like 3 days. I took a day off from work, didn't even function. And when
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to my kids, to my boys over at Barron's, a shout out Coach P, Coach Taylor, and my kids right now, we're trying to figure that out. And we'll talk about that too. Just COVID-19 and how it's affected the high school level of even playing,
Right.
and no commentators and everything. We start on December 3rd. So
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So to see how that tragedy happened and then for them to finish up the way that they did, but God.
Yes. Let me start by saying, my condolences to Vanessa Bryant and her other daughters, in the loss of Kobe and Gianna. My condolences also to the other seven victims in that helicopter crash, including the the, 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 the pilot as well. It's such a tragedy. Matter of fact, when I heard the news, I actually thought it was a joke. I thought it was a hoax. Um, I was like, no, no. I was, add a couple four-letter words on Sunday, which I shouldn't have done. But I was like, no, no, this is not true. This is not true at all. My wife, I had to, she was telling me, I said, no, that's not true because I would have heard it on ESPN. I would have said no. Then the story started to get real. CNN started. I said, no, no way. Then I started crying. Um, I still, to the day, I'm still in shock that he's not here because I felt like he has so much to offer, so much to still doing, and then the love for his daughter and Gianna would have been in the league at bringing the league to a whole nother level. I believe that because
Absolutely.
I still look at old clips where Kobe was doing an interview, and matter of fact, I can recall a time where I was listening to Kobe on the and he was talking about his daughter. Someone was asking about him not having sons, not having sons, and about to pass on the legacy to. And so his daughter was like, "No, Captain was like, no, Dad, I got this." And I was like, "Yes, he does got that." To see her not be able to fulfill that, I'm like, wow. I'm just like, wow. But to move on from that, for the Lakers to do what they did, winning the championship. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers from the way they dominated. Um, it's they did the damn thing. Shot I in the beginning of the season we thought there was a lot of questions about the coaching decisions, who's the coach, like how the players stumble together. When they got down that bubble, they did it. And I don't care what anybody say. Like people, I heard comments saying that, well, the Bucks and the Clippers wasn't there. I'm like, let me say this. It doesn't matter because if the Bucks and the Clippers went and handled their business, okay, then they should have been there. So, but the Lakers took care of business. The Bucks and the Clippers did not take care of their business. That's what you got to. That's what you got. What you got to do. So don't tarnish what the Lakers had accomplished because everybody was faced with the same opportunity. Championship is the championship, and they won it, and it should not be diminished. or tarnished in any type of way. And and then the whole LeBron versus Jordan thing. Let's stop. Because number one, they're two different players. And then top of all that, you got the 10 NBA finals. Who gets to do that? Who gets to make 10 NBA finals? Not even one. Okay? Magic went to 5, I went to 9.
Bill Russell.
But he won all his 11, 12 NBA rings. I mean, let's stop diminishing LeBron and what he accomplished. Jordan is his own person. LeBron is his own person. You cannot diminish what he has accomplished because still making it to 10 NBA finals, that's still amazing right there. So not people can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that, you got to let the haters do what they do. There's
Mm-hmm.
employment out there for everybody. Let the haters do what they do. You know, they accomplished a fantastic, phenomenal feat. On to the next. I'm hearing that they're going to start the season, and the 21 season is going to start in December. I hope that happens. And if
Yes.
there's anything that I could wish for you for the Women's Basketball Association, I got my guy on here, Jeff Hood, who is the the head honcho over there for the National PAL, and he said, and I thank you, I appreciate it for the congratulations on the number 24, the 24th episode. That was the number that I rocked in high school. So I came up on it. Once I became a pro, I put on the number 15 because 24 was finished. But bottom line is this: what he said is the WNBA needs a developmental league like the G League for the NBA, and I can't agree more. I can't agree more. They need to adopt, some of these combines that are going on, especially one with Jesse Kenlaw. They need to co-sign on that as the official tryout recruiting station for all of those under the radar kids that don't get drafted. They need to co-sign on them and officially put their stamp on them as combine for afterwards.
And here's the thing: what the WPBA has to offer. Okay, we have 8 teams right now, but we have these 8 teams that's giving more women professional athletes an opportunity to continue on with their careers. And we're not in competition with the WNBA. No way, shape, or form. We're also providing another additional platform to give women opportunities to continue on with their basketball careers. And I'm all for that. Not everybody can go overseas. Not everybody can go play in the WNBA. Okay, but why can't we provide another service for players like for the WPBA? Why can't we get that? We got Ruthie Bolton Holyfield, who's in the front office of the league. Shout out to her. She's spearheading a lot of things. Shout out to our commissioner, Tamika Milburn. She's done an amazing job, getting our league, to where it is today. So we want to make sure that, especially, and then for us, the Philadelphia Reign, we haven't had a team in over 20 years, and for us to be able to come back to the city of Philadelphia and put a team here, it's a great feat. It's a great feat itself. Now we just want to be able to keep a team here and move forward and let it grow. So that's why my responsibility is to get out in the community, build relationships with people in the community, so that we can be able to have the community support us, and as well as being supportive of what's going, in our community as well. Like I said, we've done back to school drive. Okay, we got involved with the voter registration drive. Okay, to help get people involved, help people get voted, register to vote. So we want to be involved in the community, okay, to get these, be the platform. So when they see the Philadelphia Rain, they can think about, well, man, they be out in the community. They be supporting everybody in the community. So that's where our focus is trying to be, is where we want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And once again, you're listening to the 24th episode, Sunday Brunch. Adrian Goodson, your host. Special guest, Coach Vince Simmons, who is now the sports manager liaison for the Philadelphia Rain. And I agree with you 100% about, bridging these gaps between the WNBA and the WPBA. Am I correct? The WPBA.
Yes.
All right. WBA. And that sounds WPBA, and get you guys some help, get you guys some support, get you guys to get, for them to give you a shout out. You guys are in 8 cities that are great cities, first and foremost, and then they can be a bridge to a gap for the league. Because if there's a player that's looking for a team that's looking for a player, they have to look no further than the WBPA to go and check out players, because you guys will be actively playing. They can send scouts around, come check you out, and maybe keep a team from having to go over to overseas internationally, because we got a whole lot of talent that we're honing right here in the United States,
Absolutely.
And so, with that being said, I also wanted to talk to you about, high school. Oh my God, the high school season is going to start, and what I tell you, that's got to be crazy, because right now we're really dealing in a category where people really don't listen. Okay, high school age. No, you're supposed to have the mask on. No, you're not supposed to be around people, and they do it anyway. So this will be interesting to see how the season goes. For me, I will be in the building, standing in the corner hollering, if that's what I got to do, because we gotta keep it, we gotta keep it 100. Look at you. You gotta send me one of those. All right.
I got you.
I hear you. I like that. Anything that has to do with the kingdom, I'm all about. So,
and I put this mask on is to show people, look, put the mask on, protect yourself, protect other people. Like, there's people out there, because it's not just about you. Okay, it's about the other people's around you. Wash your hands. Go out, when you go outside, put a mask on. Like, I teach 7th and 8th grade science in my full time. And every day I talk about putting a mask, wear your mask when you step outside. Because at the end of the day, you do need a break. You being in the house all the time, like, I work from home. I'm online all day teaching my kids. So after 3:10, school's out, I tell my wife, like, you know what? I need to step outside. I need to go take a walk. But I have my mask on. Okay. But I do got you for the mask, and I got you for that shirt. I will mail that. I will definitely put that in the mail for you. I got you. But no problem. Thank you. But I have to step outside because I need some fresh air. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I do step outside, that's 6 feet apart. I mean, I do have to go to the store to go grocery shopping, but I'm 6 feet apart. So that's one thing I tell my kids. You have to be responsible. Okay, because if someone gets the COVID, next thing you know, the people around you are going to have to go quarantine as well. They may have to shut down school again. Now, we're still not in the building, but K2 second is about to start go back in the building November 30th. So we still, in order for us to get through this virus, everybody has to be responsible. Everyone has to take ownership to prevent it from happening. So
yes,
that's where I am at this point.
And that's the key word right there, Coach. Everybody has to play their part. Everybody has to take ownership. Everybody has to be responsible for their part.
Hmm.
And looking at us as a nation, you know, after this COVID, it really challenges my thinking in regards to, are we really together as a country? Are we really united? We stand?
Hmm.
We're definitely divided and fallen,
Yes, we are. Yes,
which is
we are.
crazy. I got, I have I have Jeff on here again. Jeff Hood is being a real good advocate. He's being an advocate for you right now. And, that's, I wish I could bring
Thank you,
him in
Jeff.
camera. Let me give a couple of people some shout outs. Jeff
Yeah.
Sheree Williams on here. Shout out my girl Marsha Bruschi from Brazil. Every time she tunes in, como vai? Muito saúde. Yeah. And then I got Scott Molesky is on the show saying, I love your show, Adrian. I appreciate that. Karen Winland. I think some of these people are your friends. And Jeff said, hosting a G League for women would allow less women to go overseas and provide funding to pay to keep them in the U.S. and grow the game instead of overseas. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Coach?
I think actually that's a wonderful idea. Like I said, as great as the WNBA is great, and yes, players, do go overseas, and they do have to still make more money playing overseas. That's the reason why a lot of them still go. But at the same time, I believe that we have to invest in our own. That is a great idea, providing that's why the WPBA will be a great support system as well, as far as providing that avenue to keep players from going overseas. Okay, so if you can't play in the WNBA, come play with us in the WPBA. But we need that support as well. We all welcome sponsorships. We all welcome the support. Let's fill up the arenas. Let's fill up the seats. It really does come down to uh, community support. It comes down to financial support. How much are we willing to invest? I saw, matter of fact, I'll use one example. I happened to saw something on social media. They did a comparison for Sue Bird and
Yes.
James, and the comparison was similar except for the pay. And my response to that was, but still, the women are still not being supported yet. And I do mean emphasize yet. Okay. Now, have they come a long way? Absolutely. But they still need that support. That means the ones who says that the ones that says that the women's basketball game is trash or say negative things about the women's game. Okay. Have you ever bought a ticket to go to a game? Have you ever go see women play? Have you sat and watched a WNBA game, or have you watched? Have you in your town? Have you go watch them play? Have you supported? Filled up the seats, like even in high school level. Okay, Have you helped fill up the high school stadiums to watch women's basketball play? Okay, so that's where it really has to start. We have to fill up those seats to generate support. How we do that, that it starts with everybody being supportive. Okay, coming together and realize, what we can do. The women's game is growing, and recognize that women are very talented, but we have to keep the engine going, and we have to continue. How can we make it grow? We have to make it grow, and I think the WPBA will also be that extension to help women's basketball grow.
Yeah, and I'm going to definitely piggyback off of you because I have to with that. as far as the support is concerned. And I'm going to tell you straight up, there's a lot of issues that we still have that need to be spoken to as far as the players, the current players are concerned. But there are far more issues that need to be taken care of and discussed as far as the former players are concerned. So I say former players, stand up. Anybody who's on here that's watching that's a former player. And until we support ourselves, and I'm going to say that again,
Mm-hmm.
until we support ourselves and until we support one another as former
Mm-hmm.
players and as current players, God will not fill up our cup with other people's support until he sees us supporting one another. How you going to be over here screaming, oh, support me, oh, Lord, do this, do that? I don't even see you loving your neighbor. And so
Mm.
we get too many things twisted. We want so much. But how many people here, how many of my WNBA counterparts is going to click share and share my page, share what I'm saying right now? Until we fill
Right.
each cups up, our cup's not getting fuller. So
Absolutely.
sit here. I don't even wear a watch, but I'll wait. Bottom line is you got NBA China in over 30 cities, NBA
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, NBA India, NBA Africa, and
Mm-hmm.
probably a whole lot other ones that I missed. Okay, here we are filling up other people's cups, but not filling up our own.
Mm. That's true.
And this is
That
the
is.
problem. This is the problem. Not going to elaborate too much more on it because I could keep going, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Good. He's worthy. He's breaking through a lot of these different things. You know, I posted up on my page. I hear the chains falling. Bottom line is, all year long, we have done nothing but deal with tragedy after tragedy after tragedy after tragedy and loss. And after
Mm-hmm.
those things, there's a lot of gain. You
Yeah.
know, shout out to my family and God bless my family. Guts and
Mm-hmm.
family have lost a lot in this COVID.
Mm.
A
Yes,
lot.
my condolences.
And
My
so
condolences to you.
I appreciate it. Every day that I get up, I'm grateful. You know, at the same time trying to deal with the love of my aunt from a distance, the love that
Mm-hmm.
she left me. That's what I got to learn how to live with now. So, with that being said, we've covered so much, Coach. I want you to tell us, how can we get in touch with you? Where are you on social media? What's the best source of communication for you right now? Somebody wants to shout out on you, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, blah, 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 blah. Throw your handles out there for us.
Well, you can meet me on Instagram. Okay, you can reach me at Instagram/coach underscore Vince underscore 32, and you can shout out to me on there. And then on Facebook, you can pretty much Instagram Vince Simmons on Facebook. And then also too, I also want to mention too that you can shout out to you can also follow the Philadelphia Rain on Instagram, and you can also follow them on Facebook as well, because we do have both Instagram and Facebook pages as well. And then also too, we also have our official website, www.philadelphiarain.com. Okay, and we can use some love there as you can look at what keep track of upcoming events we got going on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could do me a favor, make sure that you put those links on this Facebook Live, which would be awesome, so people can reach out to you. Hopefully this will beget something for you. Hopefully a sponsor will come through. Hopefully something. I prophesies things for people that I want for myself. So bottom line is this: each one teach one. We're all a village. We gotta support each other. We have to show more support for one another as a black culture, and then maybe other people will begin to support us. But if we're going to keep on being divided, we're going to keep on
Mm-hmm.
doing things that are in the contrary to God's kingdom, then, good luck. Good luck in the struggle. Coach, did you mention LinkedIn? Because when I went on LinkedIn, you had two pages over there. You balling like that?
Oh, well, one of the pages I don't really have any. I've even lost how to get access to it. So I do have one LinkedIn page. It's actually www dot Ben Simmons um, on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can find me. You can find me there as well. But that's just my. But I really go on there that much. So I do need to be more active on that.
Yeah, absolutely. People have no idea about the LinkedIn platform, but I'm gonna bless you. You need to go over there and get it in over there on LinkedIn. It's a different platform. You can't go over there wilding out, throwing up pictures, throwing up gang signs, throwing up this, that, and the third. It's professional. All of those people
Yeah.
over there are professional. And when people contact you, they're really contacting you for some things that are legitimate. And so if you want to up your business, or you want to up whatever it is, even if you're just out there looking for a job, resumes, all kinds of stuff like that, they have a great platform. They actually just started LinkedIn Stories, which I'm finding to be funny. I don't even think people know about LinkedIn Stories just yet, because it's a new
Yeah.
platform over there, and the people that are over there on LinkedIn are a different breed. These are people that got a lot of money over there. These are people that are in the white collar. So it's a different type of platform. But I can tell you, I got a great following over there, and just a lot of opportunity has come to my doorstep because of it. Coach, is there anything new out there for you? Anything new? Any podcasts? Anything that we could see?
Um, I've been right now nothing red to sort. Right now we're actually trying to. Right now my current process is trying to build, getting in partnership with some community events for the upcoming holiday season. That's what my main focus is. I have thought about the whole podcast thing, but I'm not there yet taking it seriously. Um, maybe
Absolutely.
maybe somewhere in the future, but right now I have a lot on my plate. Actually, I'm currently seeking I'm actually also being a 7th, 8th grade science teacher. I'm also seeking my certification in health and physical education, so that my goal is to be a health and physical ed teacher, and as well as one day may come into an athletic director or be in athletic administration, this position here allows me to get more experience in that as well. So that's where my focus is right now. As you see, I got a lot on my plate
Yeah, absolutely.
already.
And that's what you want to do. If you want to eat, you got to put a lot on your plate, because there's going to be
Yeah,
something on there you don't like, something you're going to discard. Thanks to my mother always making me put spinach in my socks. She never knew, but she watched the show all the way to the end. She going to know what them green stains in my socks were. I was putting spinach in my sock.
right.
Bottom line is this: you're listening to Sunday Brunch, 24th edition. So happy to have had you here, Coach Simmons. I wish the world for you. I hope everything works out for you in that order. In that order. I don't, you're doing great things out there. You putting great things into the atmosphere. I can't wait to see something come back for you. Like I said, Sunday Brunch. Love everybody. Thank you, Coach, for coming on the show. And if you have Anchor FM, download it. Okay?
Yes, my wife actually has a podcast as well.
Not just download
Um,
it. Go ahead.
yeah, my wife actually has a podcast as well. It's called Sipping Tea with D. Okay, you can actually find her on Anchor as well. She dares every Wednesday night at 7.
See, and I was prompting you on the podcast because I was gonna see what you're gonna say. Sipping tea with D, because I saw it on your page, and I'm saying, why ain't mentioning his wife? You knew you had to clean that up before we left the show, because she probably standing there right now. Why you ain't mentioned my team? So bottom line is sipping tea with D. She over there on Anchor FM right along with me. And if you have Google Podcasts, download it. Radio Public, download it. Overcast, download it. Net Newswire, download it. Podcast, download it. Apple Podcast, download it. Castbox, download it. Himalaya, download it. Castaway, download it. All radio, download it. Castro, download it. I'm going to kill you with all of this. Podcast app, download it. Listen, download it. Podcast 9, download it. Spotify, download it. Listen app, download it. RSS Radio, download it. Radio.net. Pocket Cast, Pod Hero, Pandora, Primecast, Procast, Podle, Highcast, Amazon Music, Owltail, Entail. What?
Mm.
Blowing up,
A
okay?
lot of platforms. A lot of platforms.
Not only I'm grinding over here, not only would I ask you to go download it, I ask you to go and support it. 99 cents that you would be spending elsewhere. If you're feeling
Mhm.
gracious, $4.99. If you really love Goody, $9.99 a month. Go subscribe. Support your girl. I love you. All right? Sammy Sosa, peace out.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right? Be the change you want to see in the world, baby. I see you.
I definitely have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye bye.
Bye.